Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to unpack a story that is honestly highly unusual, absolutely fascinating, and just totally heartwarming. We spend a lot of time looking at complex data and heavy research, but sometimes the very best stories, the ones that really grab you, come from the most unexpected places. Today, we're heading to a small village in Bangladesh to look at a rural phenomenon that literally took the internet by storm. It's a perfect example of the sheer unpredictability of nature, the power of virality, and the magic of community.
So let's just dive right into a seriously bizarre question. How did a bad haircut actually save a farm animal's life? Right? It sounds exactly like the setup to a joke. But no, this is a very real situation, documented in our source material. We're going to uncover how a completely random, incredibly strange visual coincidence brought a whole town together and completely flipped the script for what was supposed to be just a standard farm animal. It is such a brilliant look at how we humans assign value to things that just, make us smile.
Which brings us to Section 1, the unlikely celebrity lookalike.
Okay, so to really get why this blew up the way it did, we have to look at the physical attributes that kicked this whole thing off in this quiet rural spot. The core of this event is actually super simple. Villagers just randomly discovered a local buffalo that had a striking resemblance to Donald Trump. And just to be completely clear here, this wasn't some big political statement by the village at all. It was just this crazy, funny biological quirk that turned an everyday animal into an instant local celebrity. It's actually really fascinating when you think about it, how our brains are so hardwired for facial recognition that we instantly connect a globally famous figure to a buffalo standing in a pasture.
And it wasn't just a vague resemblance either. It was all in these really specific, comical features. I mean, we're talking about this tuft of golden brown hair sitting perfectly right on top of its head, paired with these absolutely hilarious, expressive faces. Imagine just walking through your quiet hometown and spotting this guy. It literally caused crowds to gather every single day. People weren't just walking past, they were stopping dead in their tracks, snapping photos, and sharing a huge communal laugh. What you should really take away from this is just how fast a shared visual joke can totally disrupt the mundane routine of everyday life, creating this spontaneous hub of connection.
But it wasn't all just laughs, as we'll see in Section 2, a looming Eid sacrifice.
See, as the laughter was echoing through the village day after day, there was this serious deadline creeping up. The tension escalated really fast. So on day 1, the buffalo goes viral locally. By day 5, we've got these consistent daily crowds. But then, right around day 14, the whole context shifts dramatically because the Eid festival is rapidly approaching. And if you aren't familiar, Eid often involves the traditional sacrifice of livestock. So by day 15, the community's fear over the buffalo's impending sacrifice reaches an absolute peak. The joy they were feeling was suddenly totally overshadowed by a very real ticking clock. Because at the end of the day, their favorite new celebrity was still an agricultural asset meant for the butcher block. This totally lighthearted comedy suddenly morphs into a surprisingly high-stakes drama.
So what happens next? Let's look at Section 3, Too Special to Lose.
With the entire village essentially holding its collective breath, waiting to see what the ultimate fate of this animal would be, the buffalo's owner steps forward. And the absolute turning point comes down to this one profoundly simple quote from the owner. "This buffalo is too special to lose." I just love that quote. It was a completely surprising announcement that instantly halted the sacrifice and changed the entire trajectory of the story. From a purely economic standpoint, right, farm animals represent significant value, especially during a major festival season. But the owner realized that the joy, the daily gatherings, the sheer uniqueness of the whole situation, that had given this animal a completely different kind of value. Emotion and community impact completely overrode standard agricultural utility.
And that leads right into Section 4, Fame and Unexpected Joy.
That single act of mercy, it created this massive domino effect. Step 1, the village children immediately celebrated the news. The tension was finally broken. Step 2, social media just exploded. People everywhere were sharing this amazing story of the animal beating the odds. And then, Step 3, all that digital hype actually turned into real-world tourism. Visitors started traveling from totally different cities just to catch a glimpse of the so-called Trump buffalo. This right here is the actual mechanics of virality in action. A local meme literally jumped off the smartphone screen and generated actual foot traffic, bringing this fresh, vibrant excitement to a place that wasn't even really on the map before. Ultimately, instead of being a sacrifice, this buffalo became a total local celebrity, bringing joy, laughter, and an incredibly unexpected fame to a quiet village. What could have just been another standard festival day, completely indistinguishable from the years prior, transformed this town into a permanent hub of happiness. And it really shows us that value isn't always strictly financial or practical, right? Sometimes value is just the ability to make a giant crowd of strangers smile together.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one question to chew on. In a world totally dominated by heavy, serious news, isn't it incredible how a simple, funny coincidence can completely unite a community? We spend so much time digging for value in data and dollars, but maybe, just maybe, the most valuable thing we can generate is a shared laugh. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes open, you guys, because you truly never know where the next burst of joy is hiding.